It's 1961 and 6-year-old little Jimmy Black is a student in my one-room schoolhouse. In class, we've been talking about the current president of the United States, John F. Kennedy, and his quest to land humans on the moon. Little Jimmy is such a bright student, but he could just not wrap his head around the idea. Jimmy said, "People? On the moon? How can that happen?" Even though I tried to convince him that it could possibly happen, he didn't believe me and stopped thinking about this absurd idea. 9 years later, when Jimmy was 15 years old, the announcement came. NASA had a mission, and that mission was to land 2 people on the moon and come back to Earth safely. This mission became known as Apollo 11. "That's baloney," said Jimmy. "That can never happen. Humans will not walk on the moon." 4 days later, on the 20th of July, Jimmy was witnessing something he never thought would happen. Sitting in front of the TV, he saw Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin outside of the spaceship, while Michael Collins stayed inside. Neil Armstrong took his first steps and said his famous words.
I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
They also left a flag and a sign while on the moon. "This is fake," yelled Jimmy. "This is all staged. They are not on the moon. They are filming this in some studio out in Hollywood. I swear, this is some kind of hoax." Jimmy was convinced that this was not real. People couldn't be on the moon. It was so far away. And people can't walk on the moon either. Jimmy was bound and determined to prove that this was fake. He went to the library to look at newspapers and magazine articles and watched the news every night to get information. After much research, he finally realized it was true. They brought back moon dirt and rocks, they did experiments, and they even talked to President Nixon while up there, said Jimmy. "That's so cool." Jimmy's fascination with astronauts and the moon escalated as he got older. All he could think about was going into space someday and becoming the next astronaut on the moon, or even better, on Mars. I could not be any prouder of my past student, and I hope that someday he really does end up on Mars.